And here we are, DOGZ versus Frog Kebab House.
DOGZ, maybe the little bit of the underdog here, no pun intended, as it looks like they're going to be pushing around the right side of the map, opting to go for the map control on the east, which is pretty interesting strategy from DOGZ. Haven't seen DOGZ play before, of course. Let's see what Frog Kebab House do and how they're going to deal with this. They have the battle standard down, giving them more health, of course, in that back line. We're going to see an engage here from Dwarf Hunters as he jumps instantly onto Big Slam there. The Priest of Dwarf Hunters here taking a lot of damage from Big Slam. Zolp, Steezy jumping in as well. Shez from the behind of the Shaman trying to do the damage he can, but it looks like DOGZ are just going to try and go straight up the ramp, and they've managed to sneak through almost unscathed. So they're opting to not go for that mid control and just go straight into the base. But this does mean, though, that Frog Kebab House is going to clean house. Yeah. No pun intended again, with what they have.
Yeah, it looks like Frog Kebab House is ready to absolutely destroy this initial fight at the Alliance ramp, making an easy cleanup job of the DOGZ. Are going to see flag picks from both Druids coming in now. The Alliance Druid making his way safely out the ramp. The Horde Druid, meanwhile, trying to get to that player that's picked the flag on his team, but he's getting held up big time here at the Alliance ramp, and he will go down as well. So, although the Horde do have the flag, they don't have a Druid to take it, and things are about to get rough for them, Alex.
Yeah, that's a pretty big blunder from them there. They may have snuck their players through, but they left Final Flash there to just die like a dog, literally, in that ramp area. And it looks like Boney M, world-class Druid in his own right, is going to transport the flag through the west side of the field here, unharmed by the team of DOGZ. DOGZ choosing to fall for that map control. Looks like they're going to try and assist their flag carrier. I can't see where their flag carrier is. It seems like he is on the roof. DOGZ's flag carrier is once again on the roof of the Alliance base right now. Escorted by two mages, actually.
Yep, Warrior with the flag. This is a setup that we've seen a lot of times as Boney hits the graveyard jump. The Horde flag carrier trying to survive on Banana, but he's got a lot of Frog Kebabbers coming at him right now. He has a couple mages to peel, but he's probably going to be forced to jump soon. Indeed, he hops down right there. Doing the best he can to stay alive. Yeah, a lot of damage going on to him. Zolf going low himself as well, though, and there's a big fireball. Soulfire, rather. He's going to actually try to make his way back up Banana now. He's in a world of trouble. His health dropping lower and lower and lower. Asmi dispelling him, and he's most likely going to go down pretty soon here. He just is way ahead of his peelers. Now, he's getting stunned. He's getting damage just poured into him. Being healed through it quite a bit, at least at the moment.
Yeah, once those damage rotations finish, the healers are free to cast, and it looks like they have done that. But CC's now onto the Alliance players.
Sush just pumping damage into this Horde Warrior, getting him lower and lower. But he's just being healed through all of it. The healer's just free casting away. Somehow he's surviving through all of this. Boney, in the meantime, is ready to cap down there in the base, but they can't seem to bring down this DOGZ Warrior.
Yeah, this DOGZ Warrior, he's had a mess on him almost the entire time, but he's just being healed through it. He has the fat pops now, but it looks like Frog Kebab House will get the coil onto him, and he's just going to go and die like that, and that probably will be a cap. No, it's not a cap just yet, as Final Flash. Yeah, Repick has come through as NA Trash has picked up the flag here for the Horde, trying to transport this over to Final Flash. Final Flash giving him heals, but Final Flash, of course, running low on that mana. The improved concussion shot into the Mortal Strike onto NA Trash as he tries to escape the base. Zolp doing as much damage as he can onto him, pumping the damage bad on him as well. Getting feared, though, there. Big Slam going down, and it looks like what could have been a cap for Frog Kebab House is turning to a bit of a mess in the tunnel.
Yeah, just a little bit. Boney wasn't quite ready to cap there. The free action potion, fortunately, is taken off of NA Trash early on here, but it looks like he's going to be making a fairly clean escape into the mid.
And he is escorted, of course, by Dwarf Hunters, who is a troll priest, but he has been feared, and Sam will look for a sap off that fear. Maybe an open onto NA Trash. He gets connected on by Sush. Sush helming that priest. This does mean, and the grenade on top of NA Trash. NA Trash forced to charge back into the team. Maybe a blunder there from NA Trash, but he is escorted, though, by Wombo Master X and the Mage. Moonflake, though, here as well, but that will be a return, and it looks like it might be a cap. No, there's a repick, though.
Once again, the repick coming in. I thought Boney was on the cap spot, but I suppose he moved off of it just before the return happened.
Yeah, now Team Muggsy is going to be transporting this flag down the tunnel, of course, playing that mage, escorted by Maggot. Maggot subbing in here on the Shaman. Steezy doing what he can to take them down here. The Cone of Cold comes down, and it's passed over to Moonflake. Moonflake, without that shield wall on the Warrior, he's going to be okay. Steezy can't do anything else to control the team of Dogs, sorry, but Frog Kebab House with that mid controller just going to run through the tunnel and start damaging Mooflake.
Yeah, this is going to come down to whoever has more AoE damage, sappers, etc. available. Everyone clumped up here in the tunnel. The flag still in the hands of the warrior, who is barely surviving right now. Once again, just what we saw a minute ago, just being healed through so much damage. Sush doing everything he can to pump damage into this warrior. There's Final Flash. We'll see if they can make a flag pass. It's definitely much too risky to do it right now. Way too many enemies around, and the warrior will keep it in his hands for now. Still surviving, still at a pretty comfortable amount of health. He's getting support from his shaman now, and that shaman is going to do a lot to fend off this alliance team from being able to push up to the warrior. We should see Final Flash finally be able to grab the flag from the warrior for the first time here. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with the facts the Dogs managed to avoid that situation turning into a cap. They had the flag in the hands of the warriors for so long, and somehow they made it work.
Yeah, it's very impressive. They've managed to do that on the back of, I think, what was it, 3 repicks? You have to give it to them, right? Frog Kebab House should have had that a cap sort of 5 minutes ago, but Dogs are just playing out of their minds getting that repick, and full credit to them. The warrior's going to get this flag through in his tank gear.
Yeah, and I assume we're going to see it passed over to Final Flash soon here. Sam, way back at the Alliance base. Not in any type of position to really be able to make an offensive push just yet.
Final Flash is in mid.
Yeah, he's just drinking in mid, and he's going to get charged right here by Zolp.
Final Flash will go down. Maybe he's not playing a flag carrier spec. Maybe he's choosing to go for that Moonkin spec, which would be an interesting decision.
Right now, he's dead spec. Falling in.
He is very dead. Alliance offense looking to make some moves here. Moving up the tunnel.
So yeah, the flag remains in the hands of a warrior. Interesting decision by Dogs here. They've got a shaman, a priest, make that a couple of priests, defending the warrior with the flag. It's definitely going to be difficult for them to do any type of peeling for their flag carrier. It looks like they want to go for a more aggressive setup. They have 2 warriors, actually. Big defense coming in from the Dogs. They are joined by a mage now as well. So they have a total of, what, 6, 7 players here at their base defending the flag. Looks like they want to make this game last a long time, trying to drag it out and frustrate that Frog Kebab House, who I think many people view as the favorite heading into this matchup.
Yeah, Frog Kebab House playing this 5-5 offense here. They're going to be playing with Priest, Warlock, Paladin, Mage, and Warrior, and they're just going to go straight on to Final Flash here. Final Flash caught down low. The big ignite there from Steezy playing the Elemental Mage on the Mortal Strike is going to cost him, and he goes down instantly.
Yeah, the Alliance pushing up the banana. Zolp doing all kinds of work, leading the charge for his team. But these 2 warriors here defending are going to cause a problem. A lot of the players that have been practicing regularly on the server are not used to seeing warriors defending the banana. We'll see if the Dogs can make it work. Zolp has been forced to go defensive, takes out the sorted board, heads back into his team. Looks like they're satisfied with the fact that they killed Final Flash and don't want to over-push things just yet.
You have to give it to Frog Kebab House. So they are playing 5 versus 8, and they are making things happen. Team Muggsy here dropping in onto Big Slam. Big Slam trying to interrupt the Sheeps there, but getting gouged there from Sam. Sam making his way up this roof area. Maybe a bit of a slow push. Zolp connecting here onto Shez, the Shaman, taking big damage from that Warrior. Going pretty here. The nade onto Wumbo Master from Fresh Kid. And it looks like there's a bit of a flank, though, from Dogs from behind the tunnel area. Final Flash is not playing Flag Carrier. He is playing Damage Druid. He's playing that Moonskin spec, I believe.
Yeah, and it looks like Dog's strategy indeed here is just to defend with as many as they possibly can and force Frog Kebab House to send their entire team essentially on offense. An interesting decision because the Dogs are not running with a rogue, so they don't really have a class that can sneak up on Boney and take him out, even if they do force the Frog Kebab team to send all of their players offense. They just don't have anyone that can really put pressure onto Boney as a solo player. Really, Rogue and Warlock, the only classes that are able to pressure a Druid by themselves, as we see the Frog Kebab House back down towards the tunnel. Now that they've seen the tactic of the Dogs, they want to rebuff and reconsider their options.
Yeah, in reconsidering their options, they have brought Traque down, the French superstar hunter from defense. He's decided he's going to now play offense. He loves playing that offense hunter, and be on the lookout for him to make some work here. They will play 6 people against that 8 of the Dogs team. They brought Genova as well. This looks like it could be a 7 versus 8 attack here. as Frog Kebab House now looking to turn their attention onto Cadet in mid. Cadet, of course, subbing in, playing that Warlock for the DOGZ team. They will try and slow him down to delay the offense as long as possible while they have players subbed in from the defense on the offense side of Frog Kebab House. Traque actually opting to go back. He will not be in the tunnel at this point, so they will have 5 players from the Frog Kebab team. Frog Kebab team even. Moving up that tunnel.
Yeah, it looks like Traque wants to focus on controlling mid here. I guess what they're trying to do is just prevent any 1 or 2 lone players from making their way to the Alliance base, because at this point, Boney is likely essentially alone. They've, you know, like I mentioned, they've seen the tactic of the DOGZ. They've seen this massive heavy defense that the DOGZ want to work. And look what we've got here. The sole defender with Boney is going to be Sam on the Rogue. So his goal here is just to be able to 1v1 whichever player, or possibly 1v2 whichever players the DOGZ decide to eventually send on offense. But for now, it looks like the DOGZ are content to continue turtling. They are dug in at the banana here, Alex.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they've put the Rogue on defense with Boney. That's a very clever tactic, and the fact that we're going to see a lot of action now from the banana. It's going to turn into a bit of a mess, I believe.
Look at all of these players, DOGZ, with the 8-man defense. Frog Kebab House are in a tough spot now.
Yeah, they've got to adapt, and they've got to adapt fast, otherwise they're just going to be weared down. They only have 1 Blizzard, they do not have a Flare. I do not believe they're playing Hunter, and looks like it's going to be a fast push up here from Frog Kebab House, as all 8 of their players are running up the roof. Many CCs go out. Final Flash has been helmed. Maggot looking to turn the damage on here with maybe a Sapper Charge. The Earthbind has gone down, the Wind Fury is down as well. Maybe the Warriors can turn on them. They're, of course, playing 2 Warriors up here. Mages are trying to polymorph. He will be taken down there. That's a shock on the Mage.
Goes down as well.
Massive damage onto Mooflake. Mooflake caught in that fear. The Mortal Strike is down. He is in execute range. Will there be a repick? There will not, and that is a cap. A beautiful play from Frog Kebab House there to break the defense of this turtling team.
Yeah, that's about as sexy of a fat push as you will ever see. All 8 of those players just popping those faps, popping those rocket boots, and getting the job done, even against a turtle. It can be very difficult to break, but Frog Kebab House showing you their poise, changing their tactic, and it only takes them 15 minutes to adjust to the turtle setup. The fat push gets it done.
Beautiful energy gaming right there from those boys, holding down that W key and pushing into them, saying, "We're coming for you right now. You're not stopping us with this nonsense."
Meanwhile, Zolp has already picked the next flag, runs right past the boots there.
Zolp has had enough. Zolp does not want to be in this game any longer with these players. He wants to make this a quick game. They've broken their defense. It's going to be interesting to see how DOGZ adapt to what Frog Kebab House just did to them. I mean, it's got to be pretty difficult if you play 8-man defense and you can't kill the flag carrier, even when the Frog Kebab team decide to send their entire defense to kill you as well.
Yeah, the flag pass going to come into Boney here, and it's obvious there that, you know, DOGZ's tactic was to turtle and try to drag the game out. I don't think their turtle lasted nearly as long as they hoped it would. They had no response for that fat push, and they just kind of got AoE down. Their Priest Colas even died very early in that fat push. He was one of the first players to be taken out, but at that point, they didn't even need heals. They had so much pressure. The DOGZ team was not really able to use any globals doing damage.
Get it off.
They just tried their best
very,
to heal
very
as they
quick
watched their warrior
match
fall
for
to
map
AoE
1,
damage.
of course.
And
this
I
is a
do
best of
believe
3
that this
series.
might be essentially a free second cap for this Horde team. Boney heading into the base, and he will indeed deposit the flag.
Yeah, that is going to be a cap. Of course, there's absolutely no mid control. When you have all of your players on defense and they get wiped like that in spectacular fashion, you're going to have no one out there to stop the next cap. And Zolp taking full advantage of that, instantly picking the flag. Boney there with the boots as well and the speed. And it looks like, you know, this is just going to be a 3-0 game if DOGZ don't adapt and maybe get some mid control here. Jake.
Yeah, when the turtle tactic doesn't work, you've got to try controlling mid and play in a more traditional way. We were marked at the beginning of the game. They were really lucky to get that first flag across. It all things considered, probably should have been an early cap by the Frog Kebab House, but Boney not quite ready to cap when they got that flag return. The Warriors just kept repicking, kept somehow staying alive, and DOGZ were able to get it across to fall into their turtle setup. So we'll see what the likelihood of them being able to do that again is here. Team Ohhgee going to be absolutely obliterated by a bevy of players here in the Alliance base.
Yeah, Jake, honestly, I think they've just decided to turtle in response. They've said, look, if you guys want to turtle, we're just going to do it better, and we're just going to break your mental. And when you're crumbling and raging at each other in the comms, we will take that final cap with full control.
It looks that way, wanting to add a little bit of insult to injury. The Frog Kebab House pulling their warrior and their paladin back to join the defenders in locking down that flag room.
I don't know what you do. What would you do in this situation, Jake, if you were Dogs? What would you say they would have to do in order to pull this game back? Because right now they've got a warrior of Mooflake in mid once again, just overextending, and it seems like he's suiciding into the double 1v1 champ of Sush.
Well, it seems like their best option would probably be to just try and pain train the flag. That was what they've had the best result with, just giving it to a warrior, having all the healers there, having all the peels there. I would maybe give that a shot, but playing without a druid flag carrier is just so unconventional. However, they've got a turtle of their own going on, and they've just now managed to stop Boney from getting an easy flag pick. So Frog Kebab House will now be forced to send some players with Boney in order to get this flag out.
Yeah, so I guess in response, they've said, if you're going to turtle, we will do it back to you, and you will have to find a way to break our turtle again. Of course, for the players that don't know, maybe a bit of terminology, pain training is when you send pretty much an entire platoon of players to get the flag out. You know, you're looking at sort of 6, 7, maybe 8 players to escort your flag carrier out. And of course, that is what they did when they were constantly repicking at the start of the game, being Dogs with their protection Spect Warrior. It seems like he is playing that Shield Bash, the improved Shield Bash, actually, for the silence. I quite like that, actually. I like Protection Warrior.
Yeah, an interesting decision for sure, especially in combination with, I believe, what we see as a Boomkin or possibly a balanced Resto Druid. Definitely some non-traditional specs coming out, trying to make the big death ball team fight tactic work. Largely unsuccessful so far, other than that first few minutes of the game where they were able to make it work. But now, Dogs defending the base just oh so hard. Zolp here locked in a fight with their warrior at ramp. He sees all those other players res and thinks better of pushing in.
I am not with you for a second, Jake. My client has just crashed.
Unfortunate. I'm on board with Traque here. Looks like he's considering going in along with Steezy, and they will indeed. So now they've got another turtle to break. They're going to send a lot of players to do so. Boney making his way up the Horde ramp, trying to get in position to pick this flag once his team manages to clear the base out, but they will have to do just that. The Frog Kebab House will need to clear out this turtle before they're able to pick, and this is one of those situations where the res timer can really become a major factor. If they're able to kill half the turtling players, but then that res goes off, they'll find themselves out of mana and out of cooldowns, facing freshly resed Dogs. Could get a little bit greasy. In the meantime, though, Final Flash for the first time has made a flag pick. We'll see if Bad can stop him.
Still rebooting my client. Bear with me, Jake. Bear with me, people.
Bad with his skull up, trying to avoid getting rocket helmed, and it looks like Final Flash actually plays that very, very well, using his rocket helm right after the last tick of that Skull of Impending Doom goes off, so Bad will find himself stuck in the full rocket helm. It breaks fairly quickly thanks to Heartbeat Resist, and he's sprinting down tunnel now. Looks like he's got a rocket helm for Final Flash. However, that's dispelled very quickly by the Priest here. Love to see it.
Yeah, bit of a blunder there by Sam playing the rogue of Bad. Of course, he maybe should have blinded. Sorry, maybe should have rocket helmed the priest. Instead goes for a blind, and Final Flash is now running a bit ahead of that priest who isn't blind. He's going to get coiled here from Sush, getting collapsed on here by Bad and Big Slam and Cullis. This could be a kill onto Final Flash, and it looks like it is. Stuck in that full kidney shot, and that's going to be a return.
Yeah, unfortunate. He made it out there, but doesn't have the tools necessary to escape those stuns. Can't quite get it done. And meanwhile, Boney has made it across. Looks like there isn't going to be anyone from the Dogs in position to re-pick here. So if Boney's able to get safely up tunnel, this priest is really the only one that can do anything to him right now. A sheep comes in onto Boney's own priest. So if Dwarf Hunters, this priest here, had a rocket helm, he would be able to stop Boney, but that's really going to be his only option. He's not going to be able to catch up to get a fear, and that is going to be the game. 3-0 for Dogs. For Frog Kebab, rather.
Frog Kebab taking the game in spectacular fashion. I really like the way they fast pushed up that route to break that defense, and it just seemed like the mental of Dogs was shattered after that. You know, they were definitely confident in the setup they had and the players they had chosen to play those warrior classes, but they weren't ready for the adaptation of Frog Kebab.
I will need you to port me back to the Eastern Plague Lands, Mr. Perplexity.
That is happening right now, my friend.
And we will get our observing macros ready for map 2 between Frog Kebab House and Dogs. Frog Kebab House takes the first map 1-0, or 3-0 rather, so the series now at 1-0. We'll see what happens on map 2. We are back with map 2 of Frog Kebab House versus the Dogs. Frog Kebab House here in map 2, switching to the Horde side, and it will be the Dogs on Alliance.
Yeah, considering how hard I think Frog Kebab House stomped last game, it will be interesting to see if they stomp even harder now that they have the power of the Horde in that first mid fight. Of course, they opt for the mid control in their games, it seems, so they will have that power from the Elemental Shamans.
Yeah, the mid control, generally an easier battle for the Horde to win as we wait for the gates to open up here. So in the last match, we saw Dogs manage to get the flag across, honestly, by a series of miracles and a series of nice plays by their healers. They were using a Prot Warrior as their primary flag carrier, which is a far different decision than we've seen any teams make in this tournament so far. Of course, most teams opting for that Druid flag carrier, which is traditionally seen as the strongest flag carrier in the Vanilla Warsong Gulch meta. The gates are opened up now, and we'll see if Dogs do decide to give that flag to Mr. Final Flash, their Druid. In the last match, he was playing a bit of an unorthodox spec. But here we go, the team's preparing for the mid-clash. We'll see if the Frog Kebab House can use the power of that Shaman Warrior combo to clear out mid and give Boney an easy path across. Looks like they're sending Genova Hero to try and cross as well right off the bat over there on the far west side. And he is going to be allowed to pass cleanly for the time being as he heads towards that graveyard jump.
Yeah, in the mid fight now, people vying for position. Mooflake here on the left side, looking to try and get a charge off. He does not get the charge. He will be put into combat. Forced to use his intercepts if he has to. He decides to go into defensive stance and just get hotted up. Flare down comes from Maggot as Mooflake decides to charge in now onto Demeter. Demeter with that Berserking buff, of course, taking much more damage than usual. He's forced to pop the lap to get out the stun. Colis now healing him up in the backline. He's not being CC'd, but Mooflake may have overextended here, taking a lot of damage from the casters of the right side. Han has pummeled so much damage onto him, and down he goes.
Yeah.
Steezy pulling back here, getting sheeps off of what he can. The grounding totem has been killed. Zolp now reflecting the fire spell back onto Ches.
Yep.
And it seems like he's taking control here again.
Easy for Demeter to find that frag onto the Warrior. Just as soon as he got free from that stun with the lap, all it took was one lightning bolt combined with a few of his other teammates damaging to take out Mooflake. Mooflake has just hit the res timer. His team doing their best to stay alive. Haven't suffered any other deaths in this mid-fight yet, but that will change as Undead Rogue now has gone down. The Horde team pushing up into mid the best that they can. And Final Flash and his team definitely on the back foot now as they head towards their own ramp. Looks like they want to stop Boney. They're heading towards the ramp, but Boney, he's already all the way around at the graveyard side and has Genova Hero with him for peels.
Yeah, Boney has juked him. He may look like he was going to the ramp and the Hunter would have seen that, but now he's decided to go to the graveyard side. He has been rocket helmed, yeah.
Fortunately gets dispelled. And he's going to have a bit of a risky cross here. Boney
charges onto the player of Maggot there. Just makes it all the way through. Helms Team WSG to continue his spree.
Yeah, and Boney really has no business getting through there that easily. He charged right into the Dogs squad there in mid, but despite taking a fair amount of damage, he's got Genova Hero, a very reliable peeler, and he's got reliable heals as well, so he'll make his way towards the Horde base, and at this point, it just doesn't look like the Dogs have even come close to getting a flag pick. That decision to use a Prot Warrior as a primary flag carrier really biting them in the rear here, because that tactic working pretty much depends on them winning the mid-fight. Of course, a Druid can stealth his way to the base and get a flag pick and try to get something going on his own, but the Frog Kebab House, they're much too experienced of players to let a Prot Warrior just walk through mid and take the flag, so that's going to be just about a free cap for Boney and the Frog Kebab House.
Yeah, and dude, I feel like as much as, you know, the team of Dogs, they played so well last game to get those repicks and to constantly keep taking control of the Alliance base when they were repicking those flags last time around. They just don't have that repicking prowess this game because they have no mid presence and they haven't sent any players through like they did last time up the ramp. They're just opting for that mid pressure, but they're getting out team for it, it seems, in this fight. Steezy, of course, in this mid fight here, popping that invulnerability potion to survive, but he gets taken down by the casters. Vulnerability potion does not make you immune to taking damage from the casters, but it does make you immune to physical damage. NA Trash, though, getting trade killed by Zolp. Maybe no, he pops that defensive stance. Mortar Strike is down onto him. Cadet getting feared though, and that does look like it's going to be the end of NA Trash unless Final Flash can get those off heals down on that Druid. Of course, Final Flash is not running flags in this game. I do like how they've got the Druid in mid. It's different. It is different, Jake.
It is very much different, and it looks like Zulf will narrowly survive. Switches to Sword of Ward, gets a Power Word Shield and some Priest Heals at a very opportune time. Team WSG casually evocating in the midst of the chaos.
Ballsy, ballsy.
Yeah, and it looks like the Dogs really want to take this fight to the Horde right by their graveyard, and they have managed to get a flag pick here.
Yeah, Mooflake coming out the tunnel now. He has those rocket boots popped, and the FAP as well. Going to be escorted by Cadet. Cadet, of course, pretty low on mana. He does use the Hodge on the charge of Zolp, but Zolp resisted, of course, the hardiness of the Orc, their 25% resist chance. But Traque and Sam are going to collapse onto Mooflake, getting instantly CC'd. The Traque's boots backfire, and there's a massive nade onto 3 players there. Zolp getting sheeped, but instantly dispelled by Asmi.
Here comes the Shaman and the Warlock ready to blow this Prot Warrior up. The coil comes in, and he's going to have a lot of range damage coming up very shortly. Oh, he goes so low.
Pyro!
Everything being used, all the ranged abilities in the game. This is why a Prot Warrior flag carrier can be so risky. They really let that Shaman and Warlock connect there and get those casts off, as well as the Palm Pyro, and he's very lucky to have survived that one. It's not done yet, though. Sam Yo trying to chase him down.
Yeah, dude, he was in shield wall the entire time there, taking absolutely no damage whatsoever, and last stand. It kept him alive, but he's not going to have those abilities now to keep him alive now, as the players of Frog KEBAP House are continuing to try and get on him. A huge concussive blow from the Prot Warrior of Mooflake onto Traque there to stop any sort of CCs. Demeter coming around from the side, though, and the Mage of Nick is just going to CC Han. Han here on no mana, of course. Warlock can lifetime to get that mana back. Traque going to try and recoup now with his team, but he's getting swapped onto by NA Trash. And Nick is just going to cast into him as the team of Dogs managed to pull off another miracle with that Prot Warrior. Very creative gameplay from them with that Warrior.
Yeah, they managed to get it done. Boney safe on the Horde roof, but Dogs have once again managed to get a flag across. And we saw what they did last time, Alex. Once they crossed with the flag, they set up an all-out turtle at their banana. We'll see if they take a similar approach here on the Alliance side.
Yeah, they are currently waiting outside their tunnel. It seems they want to try and show the Horde some presence and say, look, if you're going to come up here, we're going to actually stop you this time before you even get to our roof. But I don't know how long that will last. It seems like they are going to fall back, of course. The Alliance team of Dogs will go back into their connector area and make their way to roof safely. The Horde team, of course, though, predicting this is going to happen, predicting they will turtle a little bit and buffing up safely in that mid area, while the flag carrier of Mooflake currently sits on the graveyard safely behind that wagon.
Yeah, interesting decision. They're once again sticking with their approach, but this time, instead of turtling on the banana, they're going to hang out by the Alliance graveyard. I gotta say, they're not giving themselves any room to really kite it all here, but the fact that they're using a Prot Warrior flag carrier and positioning here tells me that their approach doesn't revolve around kiting at all. They want to fight, they want to slay this incoming Horde offense when they make their push. We'll see how long it takes for the Frog KEBAP House to leave Boney alone. Last time we saw them leave him with only a rogue defending him, just because the Dogs are investing so much manpower in defending this Prot Warrior.
I don't know if you've noticed though, Jake, but the Horde have three sneaky ranged players. They've got Han, Steezy, and Traque just free casting through this wall. Of course, they cannot be CC'd by the melee players through that wall because they are out of range, and it's a pretty sneaky position. They just cast it onto NA Trash there, the Warrior of Dogs going down in spectacular fashion to those spells. And Horde now are getting this map control on the fence side and might be able to push into the graveyard of the Alliance pretty soon.
I'm going to switch the top screen to this Prot Warrior real quick.
No worries.
Since he
So yeah, the Horde seems to be pushing in here. They're fapped and mounted. I like this push from the Horde. It's going to be very difficult for the Mages to stop them as they engage here. Another beautiful fap push. The Warriors charging in now onto the Mages. A big fear from the Warriors, and now they will connect onto Mooflake, who has popped that fap, who has popped those boots, but the fap has been dispelled. There is no CCs onto the Priest to dispel that fap. Mooflake taking a lot of damage here, does not have that shield wall. The Palm Pyro comes in from Steezy, and it is going to be a crit. There's 2 Ignite stacks on him now from Steezy. Steezy completely free casting his Samyo, CCing Wombo into a sheep. Beautiful play from him right there. Magat, though, managing to slow Collis down, so there will be no more dispels onto Mooflake, and the shields are just going to... Shields and the heals will keep him alive. Underbroke's boots, though, will backfire, and it seems like Dogs are just about holding on here on their graveyard.
Yeah, Mooflake really not even getting low during the course of that fight. The Frog KEBAP Horde team played it pretty well with the mounts and running in, fapped all the pressure they could possibly come up with, but Mooflake never even really got low, and of course the Alliance team opting to fight right on their graveyard, working that res timer, so the Horde have no choice but to take them out in one fell swoop or be wiped up by their rezzers. And that will be the case here as the dogs hold strong on their graveyard. Boney still, of course, over at the Horde base with the Alliance flag safely in hand. They do have Genova Hero the Mage with him to peel this time around.
You have to wonder, though, Jake, like, when will the team of dogs get a push onto the flag carrier of KEBAP House? If they're playing this many players on defense, how are they going to win the game?
It doesn't look like they have any interest in going offensive at this point at all. Seems like their tactic is just to frustrate KEBAP House to the point that they begin to make mistakes. But once again, as we discussed last game, the fact that dogs have no rogue to sneak over there to the Horde base and try to make any kind of a play means that at some point they're going to have to give up the turtle if they want to get an EFC kill here. And when they do give up the turtle, it will be very telegraphed, it will be very obvious, and you know that KEBAP House will capitalize.
Yeah, this is a full 10-man defense from the dogs, boys. I did not count the players before. I did think it was 8 players, but it's actually full 10 players. So they may even force Boney out of the base as well. And the thing is, Boney could actually come out and assist. Because they do have 10 players on that graveyard side, they don't have anyone in position for a repick.
Yeah, a standoff here outside the Alliance base. The full dogs team just sitting on the graveyard. You see the Prot Warrior in the top left of your screen hiding behind the tents there with the flag. And his team actually looks like they want to push into KEBAP House now. Maggot leading the charge, changing their position, and they're going to try and take them out as they're buffing, initiating the fight themselves here at the Alliance ramp.
Yeah, the calm before the storm, that lull in combat there will be broken down as dogs decide they're going to be the aggressors this time on that Alliance side. Final Flash pushing in here. Does seem like he did use the Invis Trinket, but he's going to decide better of it and turn right back around as Steezy. Steezy has his Palm in 20 seconds, and Power Infusion is also up in 15 seconds, so look for a big amount of burst damage from Steezy. The Mage, of course, of Steezy, he's pushing into that connector side, it seems like. He does have a flank position, and he's showing himself in an intimidating pose. Dogs are forced to pull back ever so slightly. No, Traque has found and has trapped Mooflake at the back, Jake.
Oh, that is really, really big. Mooflake's going to be in trouble pretty soon here. Traque doing what he can to survive against a pair of mages. It looks like he will be taken out. Maggot USA there as well, but here comes Steezy, here comes Sush, here comes the real range damage. Mooflake's team needs to get in position to peel these players off of them, and half of them are still stuck over there at the Alliance ramp. Mooflake in a lot of trouble now, being casted onto. Can he survive? Can his team get into position to peel him? Here they come, and here comes Demeter. Demeter's ready to do some serious damage.
The kill.
That will be it. So Mooflake's teammates getting a little aggressive there, not sticking to the turtling plan. They leave him exposed. Traque manages to initiate the fight, and then the Warlock, the Palm Pyro Mage, and the Shaman all swoop in and finish that kill. A second cap for KEBAP.
I just want to point something out, something really clever that Collis did there. So Steezy ran in, fapped, and boots popped. So did Han. Of course, Sush playing Han, that Warlock. He had his boots and fap popped as well, but Steezy's boots backfired. So Collis made the executive decision to put the Power Infusion onto Demeter instead. And that may have resulted in the kill since Steezy's boots did backfire.
Great awareness by Sush there, giving the Shaman everything he can to do that big damage. The boots backfire, of course, something you have to be accounted for, especially when a major offensive class like a Palm Pyro Mage gets a boots backfire. That is usually going to be called out in voice comms. For those of you that don't know, both sets of rocket boots in the game have an RNG chance to backfire, leaving you disoriented for 4 seconds. And of course, the Palm Pyro Mage has no ice block to remove this effect. So Steezy forced to sit in that, and Colas, as Alex mentioned, making a great decision to throw that PI on the Shaman and secure the kill for his team.
Yeah, it's just great to see at this level of game, you know, that people have that kind of awareness. It just shows you the level of competition is really high in this tournament. And it just looks like the Horde team of KEBAP are going to continue their reign in mid. Yeah. Take full map control once again as Boney has picked that flag.
Indeed, you see in your top right, Boney charging down the tunnel. Looks like he's going to be allowed out of this Alliance base pretty easily. Steezy and Colas here to assist him as well. Steezy just wrecks Final Flash. The Palm Pyro Mage showing its true power.
Good night, Princess.
Good night indeed. KEBAP House now grouped up strongly in mid, taking out these remaining dogs players. Mooflake, of course, their flag carrier, very much trapped in this mid fight, and it looks like they're not going to have anyone in position to pick the flag. Final Flash missing in action. Getting trained down.
I don't know if you see this. I don't know if you see this, Jake, but Boney is not choosing to cross mid.
Maybe a little bit of trolling in the works.
Maybe a little bit of trolling in the works. They want to rub it in. They want to say, you guys played 10-man defense against us and still couldn't stop us from killing your EFC. We're now going to extend this game just a little bit so you have an extra 10 minutes of misery.
The Priest trying to make it into the Alliance base. Someone has managed to get a pick.
That is true. We have to find out who has managed to get that pick. Sam, though, popping the boots in tunnel. He will try and get onto that Druid. The Druid doesn't seem like he's gone into the tunnel area. May have gone to the roof. Trying to find out now who has picked this flag for the DOGZ team. It seems like DOGZ are not on the roof. They will be in the connector with that Horde flag. And it's going to be, I think it's Cadet on the Paladin. Cadet with the hero play. No, he passed it over to Nick. Nick with that flag now on the Mage. And DOGZ have made a hero play and managed to sneak the flag out of the base.
Which way are they going out?
They are going out by the Horde Zerker hut here. Bit of a fight breaking out here as well.
There you have it. Frog Kebab House trying to collapse in on the Mage that now has the flag. And he's used his blink. He's got a lot of players on him. Needs to living action potion or block right now. He will block. Doesn't get to repick out of the block, but fortunately Maggot picks it up. Maggot, though, he's not going to be in this world much longer as all the big damage comes onto him. Steezy with the blast wave to finish him off. And Boney now will be able to cap. And it looks like he will do just that and end the map and the series 2-0 for Frog Kebab House. A dominant display, all things considered. You know, when you allow the enemy team to fall into a turtle like that, it can be very difficult to break. DOGZ, borderline trolling with their tactics. The 10-man turtle on Graveyard. Seemingly no way you can turn that scenario into a flag cap for yourselves. They look to drag out the game as long as they can, but in the end, they're not able to do so for very long. So Frog Kebab House will advance to the next round.
Yeah, I guess that was always going to happen. The Frog Kebab House, of course, a very high-level team. And against the newcomers in DOGZ, DOGZ trying their best there. I guess they wanted to try and break the mental as much as they could with that 10-man defense, but you know, when you have players like Steezy, Sush, and Collis just running at you, it's a real panic.
Yeah, the caster damage on that Horde side definitely having a massive impact. You saw the combo of Steezy, Sush, and Demeter, the Shaman, along with Colis's support. That 4-man team was able to destroy that FC as soon as they were allowed to really connect on him. So Frog Kebab House will advance, and our next match is going to be Big Dick Energy versus the E-Heroes. Mr. Perplexity, it's been a pleasure. Good luck in your match.
It has been a lot of fun, my dude. Thank you very much. I will talk to you soon after the game. Hopefully it's a nice 2-0 clean win.
All right, we'll see.
See you soon.